Malik Sarwar needs really no, he's a local boy, I suppose, to some extent, Hong Kong-based, head of wealth for HSBC. And it's a pleasure to see you again. It's been a long time, but very nice to see you. Malik, when we first met, what was it, 10 odd years ago, I think you said to me, and I still remember this, I've quoted this often to various people, the trend can be your friend. Is the trend our friend?
It certainly is. If we look at it from a client standpoint, clients have the same needs they've always had. They want to grow their family. They want to make sure they're well taken care of, education, themselves, for retirement, etc. So those are trends that have been prevalent in the industry, and institutions that are focusing on those are actually definitely benefiting from that as well.
Right. We find ourselves at a very interesting time in Asia from a wealth management standpoint. The last 5 years or so have seen substantial amounts of wealth being generated in Asia. Mm-hmm. I'm slightly more concerned about the role of asset management within that overall wealth that has been generated. Now, you sit at a very, very unique position in there to be able to look at the overall wealth that's being generated and then segmenting within that the various products that your bank sells. Where does asset management fit today relative to, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
I think it's now even more critical than before for the simple reason that given the volatility in the market and given the so-called black swan events happening with greater frequency, there is a degree of uncertainty by clients. Therefore, managing their wealth on their own is even more challenging than it was some years back. That's where asset management comes in, where it's a thoughtful, process-driven approach that also factors in risk mitigation. You know the old saying, it's not how much you make, it's what you don't lose.
Right.
You go down 50%, you have to go up 100% to get to break even. So money management, as driven by asset management, is a core for that to help clients.
Right. Now, you're a very well-traveled man. You've spent time not just in Asia when we first met a long time ago, but since then have been to the US and elsewhere. When you look at the sort of capability and competence that's being available, that's made available within the region that you now have responsibility for, is it better, is it worse, or is it the same?
I think it is definitely getting better and has been over the years with slight hiccups in the industry. The first is that relationship managers and institutions have been very good at offering clients what they should buy.
Right.
However, when markets do take a downturn, as they did a few years back, less active, proactive in being great risk managers.
Right.
So having learned from that, they're becoming great risk managers in addition to how to invest and grow your wealth.
Excellent. One final question. I was very much taken up by 2 points you made in your panel session this morning, and I want to come back to them. One particularly pertained to the role of women, and you made, on 2 different occasions during your session, you made references to them. One in terms of the amount of wealth that they have responsibility for, but also that the role that they're playing in the future. Is this an area that's new to yourselves at HSBC, or just new to the business in general?
It's not new. I've seen that generally in the industry, the institutions are beginning to focus more and more on that segment.
Right.
For the simple reason, as you stated earlier, women are getting more into the workspace,
yes,
in more and more senior positions.
Indeed.
And going up all the way to being CEOs, as well as inheriting a lot of wealth, the trillions that are now going to the next generation. And for both those reasons, it's a big chunk of money, and they're looking for advisors they can trust and they can plan for their families, etc.
And just finally, is this a trend that you're seeing more prevalent in Asia today than it was, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
I think it's a global trend.
It's a global trend.
And Asia is certainly a part of that.
Excellent. Malik, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.